guys, welcome back to another episode of Pokemon Sword! Last time, we arrived here at the Crown Tundra and met a strange guy by the name of Peony, and we are now accompanying him on his adventure of sorts. Yeah, in today's episode, we're gonna meet up with him in a town called Freezington, which is actually not too far from here, so we're gonna tread across the snow and see where we need to go. Yeah, it's actually not too far from the Max Lair. And, oh, we actually have an Audino. You know what? I'm gonna catch this Pokemon real quick. Because I imagine it's pretty rare for the Crown Tundra to see them. Yeah, we should... Well, yeah, I think we're fine. We're gonna go for Poison Fang, actually, because I forgot that Venoshock only works when the target's poisoned in terms of its, you know, power being buffed. Oh! I would not like you doing that. I really wouldn't. You know, I don't think we're gonna get this lucky with every Pokemon from this point on, but we'll at least take what we can get here. Yeah, we got some level ups on our team. Yeah, Audino! The hearing Pokemon. Audino's sense of hearing is superb. Not even a pebble rolling along over a mile away will escape Audino's ears. Yeah. This is a Pokemon that I will not be putting on my team, but it's pretty cool, I guess. You know, we'll check it out real quick. Yeah, Regenerator for the ability. And, alright, that's fine, I guess. Yeah, I'm gonna be putting you in the box, because there are some other Pokemon that I can consider for my team. You know, but at least we got the Dex entry for them. Alright, so let's head off to Freezington. Yeah, it seems like a nice quiet little town. I'll say that. Hello, hello. What have we here? Another visitor? I am the mayor of this fair town of Freezington. I must say, it's a surprise to have visitors arriving in our out-of-the-way town, one after another. Might you be here to learn about the legend of the King of Bountiful Harvests as well? That sounds cool, but I was actually here to meet Peony, so... not really. Ah, never mind. It hardly bears asking. After all, there's very little otherwise to attract visitors to our sleepy corner of the region. Which is a bit of a shame, really. People come all this way to investigate what turns out to be a mere fairy tale. But since you've made the journey, I must offer you this Freezington specialty as a memento. We get the Freezington's fame boatneck sweatshirt. Yeah. It's a shirt emblazoned with the likeness of the King of Bountiful Harvests. I'm afraid it hasn't sold quite as well as we had hoped. We've got a fair number left over. You heard of eBay? That might help you there. The illustration's based on extremely ancient accounts of the king's appearance. Hence the unusually sized head. I bet. But we thought it might make the design a touch more hip, as they say. If you'd like to see what the king really looked like, I suggest you take a look at the statue by the fields in the center of our village. By the by, while you're here in the Crown Tundra, feel free to let your lead Pokemon out of its ball and take it for a stroll. Farewell for now, then. Yes, we can take our Pokemon out for a stroll at long last. Oi! Oh yeah, right on time. Over here, Christine! Yeah, we couldn't miss Peony there, could we? Yeah, we'll catch up with them in a little bit. I do want to try to find this statue, and I have a story about this particular part of the game. I streamed the Crown Tundra and Pokemon Shield over on Twitch, and it took me so long to find this statue because I guess I wasn't paying attention in the cutscene where they clearly show you where it is. Yeah, it's like right here, and it just blends right in with the material of the fencing. It's a statue of Pokemon! But somehow it feels as if it's missing something. Yeah, I wonder what could be missing from this one. Alright, let's meet up with Peony. I think this is where he was. Well, let's pick up his item real quick. Yeah, we got a wishing piece. I will take any of those that I can get, because they are not cheap to come by. Aha! Here you are! This pokey little place will be our lodgings. Yeah, it seems like a homey place. But as of this moment, it's also something far more important. Our base camp! I know. Not much of a base camp, is it? Still, we've got to give it a proper air of importance, haven't we? If you say so. Now enough faffing around, Christine. Let me tell you what the Peony exploration team is after. Yes, do tell. Around here, they've got a fair few strange and mysterious legends. For example, a huge-headed Pokemon known as the King of Bountiful Harvests. Not to mention a massive red tree where legendary flying Pokemon gather. Sounds interesting. Please keep going on. And furthermore, these great hulking dot-faced giants that sleep in some ruins or something. Etc. See what I mean? This place is just bursting with juicy legends. I bet. And we're not stopping until we found just how much truth they've got to them. And there you have it! We are the Peony Exploration Team! And that is our grand, noble, magnificent goal. Of course, if I had my way, I'd be doing this with my darling Nia. But who knows? They say even chancy meetings can lead to blissful friendships. I don't know who says that, but alright. So here's to a grand adventure. Expedition Chief Christine! Oh, I don't know if I'm worthy of being called Chief right now, but alright. Who, me? Obviously. Look, what do you think would happen if the two of us went gallivanting off together? As long as it's not anything like what happened in the Max Lair, I think we'll be okay. My dear Nia could come along for a grand emotional reunion and find this place empty. I am sure she would be very happy to not have her dad poking around. Just the thought of it. My own darling daughter, sitting alone in this room, pining for her papa. You sound like that's a terrible thing. I don't think she sees it that way. Gah-ha! Nope, not on my watch. I'd never let that happen. So I'll be the hold down the fort chief. Wait, you're seriously not gonna tag along with me? Which means you get the pleasure of being the expedition chief. Gah-ha-ha! Yes, sounds lovely. Which brings me to this! Go on, have it! Yeah, an expedition uniform. Thanks. Alright. Gahaha! Look at that! Fits you like a glove! Sure. I brought some spare uniforms so my dear Nia would have a few to change into. So there's enough to give you one. I can't say she would be caught wearing this, though. And if you ever need to change or have a kip, by all means. Just head into the bedroom back here. Ah yes, the room of many wonders. I've got some different colored scarves in there, so switch it up if you fancy a bit of style. Here, have these, too. Yeah, we got Legendary Clue 1. Alright. Yeah, a clue about the King of Bountiful Harvest. It's written by Peony and an old photo is attached to it. Yeah, there's a fairy tale in Breezeton about the legendary Pokemon known as the King of Bountiful Harvests. In the legends, the king is said to wear a massive crown on its head. But the wooden statue near the fields in the middle of the village shows no sign of a crown. Yeah. Wonder where that went. Yeah, we got Legendary Clue 2. Clue about the Legend of Giants. It's written by Peony and has unique drawings. Yeah, let's see those drawings. That is some good artwork. I can't say that I would be doing much better than that. Far, far into the giant's bed lies a temple where the giant of stone sleeps. On the temple's door are strange words, and I can't really read that. Yeah, it says the door remains firmly shut. Yeah, sunken in the side of Snowside Slope lies a temple where the giant of ice sleeps. On the temple's door are strange words. Yeah, so these are all the temples that we're gonna have to make our way to. Near where green meets snow in the giant's bed lies a temple where the giant of steel sleeps. On the temple's door are strange words. And this one, which I don't think is something we've seen yet. On the distant paths of 3 Point Pass lies a temple where 2 giants sleep. Yeah, that's piquing my interest already. Yeah, and I guess we got Legendary Clue 3. A clue about the legend of bird Pokemon. It's written by Peony and has a unique drawing. When the sun reaches its zenith, it shines directly down upon a great tree with leaves that seem to burn. It is there that the legendary wings come to roost. They're legendary clues I miraculously compiled from hours of dedicated tele-watching. Yeah. Or meticulously, I think is what he was saying. First off, why not have a look at that clue about the King of Bountiful Harvests? Seems like this king's bonds with its loyal steed, or whatever you call it, run proper deep. So if I had to name this expedition, I'd call it The Sacred Bonds of Sovereign and Steed. There's a great big statue of it bang in the middle of the village. Thought its head isn't as massive as in my notes. Yeah, or maybe the lack of a head, if you look really closely. Yeah. Yeah, I will say that in Pokemon Shield, I never really gave the Expedition uniform a chance. I could, actually. You know what I'm gonna do? I am gonna change back into my usual clothes for a second. All set. Time to investigate the legend surrounding the Crown Tundra. Yes. Ah, I just had an idea. Here's a little something to help you out. A Master Ball! Dude! Alright! This is supposed to be one ultra mega corker of a ball. Use it whenever you think you ought to. I got it ages ago from somebody I used to know. Never could bring myself to use it though. If you ever get a bit turned around, come on back to base camp anytime. You can't miss it. Just look for the adventuring crew flag I stuck out front. Handmade by yours truly. Anyway, I suppose that's that. Let the grand adventure begin. Have a smashing time out there. Yeah, we'll do that. Yeah, so what I'm gonna actually do is I'm gonna at least put on the expedition jacket. Because I think that's pretty cool, and I'll keep the rest of my outfit the same. There we go. That's a little better. You know what? I guess I could go in and change my armband. You know what? Sure. Oh, you can choose different colors. Alright, we'll go for the water type. I never actually messed around with this in Pokemon Shield, and I will not reprint my Pokemon Wii card. Yeah. Can't say that really matches my outfit too much. There we go. That's a lot better, and it matches our outfit going on too. Alright, actually I should heal up my team first before we head on out. That would be a very wise decision there. Alright, so I guess we can head out and check out the statue again. Yeah, it's giving us a much larger view of the Crown Tundra and just how massive of an area this is. Yeah, as you can see, it's not all just snow, though. Yeah, you can't miss the statue. I didn't certainly get lost trying to find it before. Yeah. It's a statue of Pokemon, but somehow it feels as if it's missing something. Alright, well. Yeah, I think I saw something actually in our base camp that might be what we're looking for. Yeah, talk to you. Oi, oi, Chief! How goes the adventuring? Anything to report? Doesn't look like you got any fresh progress to report on this one yet. Anything else legendary you want to talk about? You can also get some adventure hints if you're stuck. I don't think I'm gonna need to do that, but, you know, if you are stuck, you can talk to him, and I'm sure he'll give you a nudge in the right direction. Crack on with solving those legends, Chief. You! Expeditions to expedite. Yes, I'll try to get this done quick. Yeah, this seems like a peculiar item on the table. Hey, Chief! My pillow's caught your eye, eh? That's your pillow? That looks nothing like a pillow. Your pillow? Or yeah, it's great. You know what? It's a great pillow. Good job. Righto! Ultra Mega nice, isn't it? Just the shape and firmness I need. Yeah, if you're surviving out in the wilderness, I guess this would be the first thing you'd consider as a pillow. Unfortunately, I went and left my favorite pillow back at home. Oh no! So I went to have a look around town for something to rest my head on. And I found this out back behind the inn. Can I have it or I see? You know what I see? I'm in for one ultra mega comfy sleep tonight. That's for certain. Yeah, alright. Well, unfortunately, you were not in for a good sleep tonight. Because I must have your pillow. What's the matter, Chief? Can't get my pillow off your mind? I was only looking at it. Hey, well, look at you. Look at all you like. Sear it right into your eyeballs. Alright. We're seriously gonna progress the plot here. What's the matter, Chief? Can't get my pillow off your mind. Can I have it? His face? Come off it! You want me to hand over my ultra mega comfy pillow? That's asking a lot, even coming from you, Chief. What's that? You think my pillow's got something to do with a legendary Pokemon? Gah! Ultra Mega, seriously? This is just some old thing I found. Yes, that looks nothing like a pillow, by the way. But if you really want it, Chief, who am I to refuse? Alright, go on then. Have it. But you better make sure you track that legend down. Yeah, we obtained a wooden crown. I don't know if that looks like a crown either, but alright. A mysterious object made of wood. Part of it seems to be chipped. Maybe it's meant to be part of something. Sure. Alright, let's head back outside and see if we can find that statue again, which is right over here. You wouldn't have too many problems finding it otherwise. You know, especially if you paid attention to the cutscene. It's a statue of Pokemon, but somehow it feels as if it's missing something. Looks like the wooden crown, or a wooden crown, could fit onto the statue here. Do you want to try fitting it on? Yes. Okay, that definitely looks like a statue. The wooden crown fit perfectly on the statue. What? The statue just talk? Oh. Does it want you to follow it? Maybe. Maybe. Yeah, let's check this out, I guess. Oh gosh, that looks like the thing from the statue. Seems as if the mysterious Pokemon wants to test your strength. Do you want to ready a Pokeball? Alright. Alright, I wasn't expecting to battle a Pokemon right now. Let alone a question mark, question mark, question mark. It has a nerve. So at least we know its ability. You know what? We'll try throwing a Pokeball. How about that? You can't throw a Pokeball. We'll get its guard down. Oh, no. Oh, gosh. Fire Lash? Alright, that does super effective damage on it. Oh, that doesn't do a lot of damage. Yes, the first battle of Shazia won't be hopefully going down. Well, we at least have other Pokemon if that happens, so I'm not too worried. Psychic! Oh, yes! Go Shazia! I don't know how we managed to survive that. I guess with our high special attack. Hey! Shazia got a level up, and Skilla! Yeah, I think Swablu is going to evolve now. Yeah, how about that? Yeah, we got our first evolution in the Crown Tundra! Yeah, we got Altaria! Yeah, very cool dragon type. As it flies in a calm and relaxing manner, Altaria performs a humming song that would enrapture any audience. Yes, now it is a true dragon. Yeah, Dragon Pulse. I think I do want to learn that. I didn't really take a look at its moveset, which is actually pretty decent. You know, I can't really say how often I'd be using Perish Song. Yeah, we'll get rid of Cotton Guard, because I don't think it's going to be too useful. Yeah, it otherwise has good type coverage. Grow! Grow! Row! Row! Grown! Yes, we could appropriately ask if it had fun. Yeah, we're gonna be funny and do that. Did you have fun? Okay, I don't understand what it's trying to say, because I don't speak Pokemon. Oi! Oi! What's up? I heard a big ruckus coming from over here. Yeah, did you miss my legendary battle with this Pokemon? What's this now, Chief? Were you having a Pokemon battle? Yes, I was. Huh? What a massive noggin! What's this? Oh, what? That is not creepy at all. Ah, yes. A sturdy body. Just as I expected. I hope he doesn't mind that I make use of it for the time being. I mean, not that he has a choice in the matter, because you're possessing him. Are you the Pokemon? Oh, I see you have grasped the situation already. Very astute of you. I am Calyrex. I am the one known as the King of Bountiful Harvests. Yeah, we saw your statue. I have borrowed this man's body in order to thank you in person, so to speak. Indeed, there are no words to adequately express my gratitude toward you for restoring my statue. Yes, little did we know that Peony's pillow had mysterious powers. In days long past, I reigned over these lands as king. The humans offered me their loyalty and respect, as I was able to bring lush vegetation to the land and give them plentiful harvests, year after year. However, it seems that over many, many years, the people of this land have forgotten my existence. It's terrible. They used to make offerings to me every year, but even that tradition has long since been lost to the ravages of time. You see, it is the faith of the people that grants me strength. And now I have lost all but a fraction of my former power. Even my loyal steed has abandoned me. However, you were kind enough to restore my statue. That act has returned some strength to me, at least enough to speak to you by borrowing the body of another. Again, that's totally not creepy. Now, kind-hearted human child, I have a favor to ask of you. I must know, once and for all, whether the people have truly forgotten about me. I wish you to speak to the villagers and ask if they remember the King of Bountiful Harvests. I have tried asking them myself, you understand? But they treated me like some sort of fairy tale creature or flew into a mild panic at the sight of me. Please, kind-hearted human, I beg you to help me. You jotted down the current status on Legendary Clue 1. Yes, I'm sure Peony, when he's back to his old self, will appreciate that. Calyrex appeared once I placed the crown on the statue of the King of Bountiful Harvest. Calyrex can apparently speak to humans by taking over a person's body. Peony's in this case. Now I need to gather more information on the King of Bountiful Harvest from people in the village. Yeah, so this basically tells you what you need to do next. Yeah, and I guess Peony is still incapacitated. Peony is floating in the air and glowing. Yeah, I see that. We'll help you out a bit. Hey, we have you. Hello there, welcome. I've got some lovely goods for sale. Yeah, so we can interrupt the plot right now and buy some items. Yeah, there's nothing too great. I guess you could buy a big pearl and sell it. I don't even know if that's worth it, but yeah, you can buy revives here as well. And the Moo Moo Milk's pretty cheap. You know what? I will actually buy a couple of Ultra Balls. Yeah, because I definitely want to have a good stock of those. Alright, what about you guys? The King of Bountiful Harvests. I used to believe it was real, you know? I was told that if I made mischief in the fields, the king would steal my body away. That sounds not good. The Pokemon King? Oh, sure. My gran used to tell me stories about it all the time when I was a kid. An old fairy tale, that... Alright. How about you? Pokemon King? Oh, sure. My gran used to tell me stories about it all the time when I was a kid. Oh, fairy tale. King of Bountiful Harvests. I used to believe it was real, you know? I was told that it was something real. Alright, you're just saying the same thing. Yeah, we'll talk to the mayor last. Yeah, what about you? Oh, you are the mayor. Do I remember the King of Bountiful Harvests? Why, of course I do. It's always the main tourist attraction of our lovely Freezington, after all. Yes, and also printed on your iconic sweatshirt. I imagine we would see more visitors if only the king were real. Oh, well. I won't answer that for you, and... poor Shazia. Alright, you? Welcome to Freezington. It must have been quite a journey to get here. Crown Tundra is famous for carrots, you know. Maybe you'd be interested in getting some carrot seeds as a souvenir. Good for now. I might need to revisit you later. Possibly. Now, no need to be shy. Though I must admit, these seeds are rather valuable to us. How about a trade? You bring me 8 pieces of Dynite ore and I'll give you the seeds. Ho-ho! Life is all about the quid pro quo, or whatever the phrase was. Alright, so it sounds like he's gonna give it to us for free if we can get some more Dynite ore. I think we may actually have enough for that. Possibly, and yeah, there's an item. Alright, I can just go over here and get this. Yeah, there's like another item in this town that you can only get from like leaving it and then going around to like another area. Yeah, we got a utility umbrella. Yeah, that could be useful competitively, I guess. Is that everybody we need to talk to? Yeah, I mean, I could explore the other houses, I guess. Yeah, this was the item that I'm referring to. The one that you actually have to go back around in the grass to get. Yeah, which is kind of annoying because you can run into wild Pokemon without even trying to. Yeah, piece of charcoal. It's also our first charcoal. Yeah, that could be good on Shazia, actually. Maybe. I haven't really considered, like, the item I would want them to hold, though. Alright, over here, I guess? Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, you can't miss that body in the air. Alright. I would like you to ask the people of the village if they remember the game on harvests. I guess I didn't talk to everybody. Alright. I don't think we've been in this house yet. Which is empty. Yeah. Oh, you. Yeah, alright. Oh dear, I'm sorry. I'm rather busy doing nothing right now. Oh, you're really not gonna tell me anything? Oh dear, I'm sorry. I'm rather busy doing nothing right now. Alright, is there anybody in here? Oh, you. It's cold outside, dearie. Why not stay a while and get warmed up? Oh, you have a peculiar Pokemon, actually. Oh, that's Floofy. I found it shivering outside the village and just had to bring it home. You know, I think it was just about when I found Floofy that other strange Pokemon began appearing in the tundra. Okay. I've never seen a Pokemon like Floofy before. Yeah, it's an odd name for a Pokemon, I'll say that. Maybe it'd be best to have a proper trainer to take care of it. Only I can find a dependable one. Alright. Sounds like something we're gonna have to come back to later. Talk to you. Do you like walking around together with your favorite Pokemon? Yes. Right, it's the best. Enjoy walking together all over the place. Yeah, I believe if you talk to this kid, yeah, you can have your lead Pokemon out, or you can choose to not have your Pokemon out. Yeah, if you want. Though I personally like the added touch of having your Pokemon follow you around. Kind of feel like I talked to everybody. Maybe. Because we already talked to the mayor. Yeah, I don't think we have to interact with the statue again. Alright, I think this is our base. Alright, is it this house? I know one of them's empty and we've been in there. It's a statue of the King of Harvest. What a large crown it's got. You know what? I think we're gonna have to do this at some point anyway. Yeah, we thankfully have 8 pieces of Dynite ore. Oh, wonderful! This is plenty. Now we can bury the ore in our fields and make our crops huge. Here are the seeds, as promised. Yeah, we got a bag of carrot seeds. Seeds to plant in a field. The kind of carrot you'll get is determined by which field you plant the seeds in. Yes, this will become relevant a little later on. Don't go planting those seeds I gave you willy-nilly in the village fields now. These fields are for our own crops. Alright, now do you have anything to say about the king? You want to know about the king of Bountiful Harvest? All I can tell you is its name. I think it was called Calvin. Or was it Callista? Ah, you're close, but it's none of those. Yeah, that kind of shows how much he really knows about the king. If he can't even, you know, remember his name. Alright, it's over here. Alright, have I talked to everybody now? I would like you to ask the people of the village if they remember the King of Multiple Harvests. Who haven't I talked to? Oh! Oh! Alright, do you have something to say to me now? Oh dear, I'm sorry, I'm rather busy doing nothing right now. Really? I know you have to talk to her at some point and she gives you information, but she just doesn't want to talk to me right now. You? King of Bountiful Harvests? Well, if it exists, why doesn't it yield the land around here so we can grow crops for a change? You've asked the people of Reasonton about the King of Bountiful Harvests. Yes. Time to report back to Calyrex. Yes. In other words, time to save Peony from, you know, whatever pain he's in with that. Ah, human child. I trust you were able to speak to the villagers. So how was it? Did they say anything about me? Ah. Just that you were a fairy tale? It is as I suspected. Nobody truly believes that I am real. It seems the people of this land have indeed forgotten the bond they once shared with me. Oh, no, of course I am not grieving. I am the King of Bountiful Harvests, after all. I know better than to count on humans to remember me. Yeah, it sounds like you have a few trust issues, maybe. This proves beyond doubt that I cannot simply rely on human faith if I want my powers to return. If only my loyal steed were to return to me, I would regain something of what I've lost. Your loyal steed? Yes! The four-legged Pokemon that I used to ride all across the land. Oh yes! Are we talking about the fabled Arcanine? The legendary, dog Pokemon. Yeah, no. The very same Pokemon that my statue in the village shows me riding. Alas, though in ancient times we spent many days together, dashing through the valleys and over the mountains of his land. My powers waned, and I was forced to part ways with it. Now I know not where it may be. Even if we should succeed in locating my loyal steed, I have my doubts as to whether it has remained, well, loyal. I have lost so much power. Perhaps the villagers know something about my currently not so loyal steed. I would be in your debt if you could speak to the head of the village on my behalf. If you are able to find any information at all, I ask that you let me know. Oh, finally! Gah! Ha! Chief! What a massive noggin! Or, wait! No, it's normal. You act like being possessed by a king is normal to you. I don't know what world you came from, but alright. I must have fallen asleep where I stood. Sorry about that, Chief. Yeah, maybe it's better off not knowing what happened to you. Still, I feel strange. Like my body's not quite my own. Guess I'll head back to base and get some rest. Besides, it's freezing out here. Yes, they don't call it Freezington for nothing. Alright, is there anything over here? Kind of feel like this would be the perfect spot for a hidden item. Maybe later. Yeah, so if we go talk to that, I think Grandma, if it's just sitting on a box over there, she may have something to say to us now. The king's royal steed is said to have had a favorite food. I can't remember for the life of me what it was. The mayor knows a lot about the old legends like that. Alright. Well, that's something. King's royal steed? Royal steed. You know, that reminds me, I know a lawyer named Stephen Motostoke. I wonder what lawyer Steve is up to these days. Yes, let's stop our journey and just check out this Steve guy in Motostoke. I'm sure he's way more interesting than this legend. King's royal steed, I was told that it had a wondrous fur coat that was as white as untouched snow. I bet. You want to know about the royal steed of the King of Bountiful Harvests? Well, I've been told it was once a belligerent ruffian that would ruin all of our harvests. Doesn't sound like something I'd get along with. Yeah. The mayor's not home at the moment. He went to have a look at the fields and the giant's bed. You can go look for him if you're in a hurry. The fields and the giant's bed are to the southeast of the village. Yeah, it's a good show of it, game. Go through Frostpoint Field and just keep going to the left. Yeah, will do. And we can also catch some new Pokemon along the way as well. Alright. Got Audino. Yeah, we have another Swablu, so I guess they are a pretty common spawn. Max Revive. Hey! A Nidorin male! Yeah, that's a new Pokemon for the Crown Tundra. Yeah, we got some Kanto Pokemon here as well. I believe both Nidorin male and Nidorin female can be found here, which is really nice. Yeah, it's nice that you get to encounter them here, and yeah, I think their evolutions can be found in the wild as well. Yeah, well, I'm gonna catch this in a Pokeball. It may not be too effective, but I think we'll be alright. Yeah! Alright. Now, this is a Pokemon that I kind of want to use on my team. I haven't really come up with a nickname for it yet. So it will be another unnamed Pokemon for now. Yeah, Nidoran, male. The horn on the male Nidoran's forehead contains a powerful poison. This is a very cautious Pokemon, always straining its large ears. Yes. Again, I don't have a nickname for it right now, but I'll likely come up with something before the next episode, I imagine. Yeah, let's check it out. Yeah, we only need at least one level on it, and then we can evolve it with a Moonstone. Yeah, Poison Point for the ability. Really nice. Yeah. Alright, let's see what other Pokemon are here. I don't think there's going to be too many Pokemon in this part of Frostpoint Field. Oh, there's a Bombasnow. Yeah, there's at least them. Yeah, this is another little area of Frostpoint Field. There is like a much larger area, I think, on the other side. Yeah, we got Nidorino in the wild. And an Aerodactyl! Yeah, that's a cool Pokemon right there. Yeah, very rarely do you get fossil Pokemon to spawn in the wild, because I think in any other generation, you have to get a fossil of them first, and then restore it. So that is very cool, and it's a female! Whoa! That is cool! Oh my gosh. Yeah, but it's already rare enough to see an Aerodactyl, let alone a female. Yeah, I think it's like a 12.5% encounter rate for the female. Oh. Ouch. Alright, I think we could maybe outlive one more. I think we could. Perhaps. Yes! Yeah! Yeah, Aerodactyl doesn't evolve, but I'll still keep it on the team for a little bit. Aerodactyl. This is a ferocious Pokemon from ancient times. Apparently even modern technology is incapable of producing a perfectly restored specimen. Yeah, it's very cool. I don't have a nickname for this Pokemon either, because I wasn't expecting to get a female. Yeah, so I'll be coming up with a name pretty soon, I imagine. Yeah, let's check you out, actually. And I need to go back and heal up my team here. Yeah, hardy nature. Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna head back to Freezington and I'm gonna heal up my team. I'll see you guys in a moment.